What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. In today's video we got a '05 Nissan Murano here. Customer requested to change the starter, so they're all the same pretty much. '05, '06, '07, doesn't matter, all the way up to date. So here's the starter motor he bought, part number 7339830322123. Let's see if there's any listing. Okay, there's a different part number here. So that's what we got right here. This is what it looked like in the package. So what we're gonna do is, the starter is located all the way down there. If your car doesn't start, if your Murano doesn't start, get yourself like a big rod, like something from the back of your vehicle, like the wrench for the wheels. You can have somebody start the car, because if it goes clunk, it's pretty much not gonna start. So right here, you see the solenoid right there? This is where you gotta hit, right here. Okay, if your starter doesn't start, you hit right here. At the same time, somebody turn the key for you. That might do the magic trick right there, and hopefully your vehicle starts. So if that happens, works out for you, good. If you're stuck, sometimes it'll go clunk. The solenoid wouldn't engage, but the starter won't engage, but it won't make the contact internally, so just bang on it. Anyways, that's that. But what we need to do is, we need to remove this battery terminal here. I don't know if this battery's loose. Okay, there's nothing holding this battery down. There's usually like a hanger around it. Remove that. We're gonna get this off. We're gonna get this fuse box out of the way. This thing probably has small little retainers right there, and we'll get everything out of the way. All right, so here we are, gathering my tools. So you guys are gonna get to know all the tools that I'm gonna be using. So usually this will be a 10mm, so this customer probably worked on it, so I brought 12 and a 13 because it looked like a 12 or a 13. And the reason, okay, there's a 10 on the opposite side, so they only changed the one terminal here. And this thing is kind of stuck there. There you go. I'm gonna go get a 10mm also. 10mm wrench here, counterclockwise, coming down at it. If I was looking at this one, was the other way around, but it was counterclockwise. But if you was looking at it, it would be turning that way. So this is gonna reset your check engine. If you have a check engine, if you got any other lights, it's gonna reset everything. So don't think your car is fixed, because those cars got, but if you want, make sure you check your vehicle. So this thing comes off the battery, or I might just put my gloves on, take the whole thing and put it on the floor. So once I have this off, we're gonna start taking we're gonna push on those little clips there, and we're gonna get this off, and then we'll remove the tray, and then we are right there next to the starter. Okay, down here, let me grab my light. I like to have good lighting. Okay, so this little clip you had to push, you could just push from right here. So I need both of my hands, so let me see if I can just do it with one hand. So push in on it and lift it up. So same thing over here. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this with the camera in my hand. Okay, it goes right back, so I'm gonna have to put the camera kind of down and push on this and kind of get that up. Same thing here, push that in. Okay, there you go, and then you can just let that thing sit right there. This little plastic cover right here, very important you put this back so the battery doesn't touch the metal, because it will drain itself. It's gonna like earth itself, ground itself. And you know how they say don't put the battery on the floor, even though I don't believe in that. It does kind of drain if you have like a leakage around the battery, the acid. So 1, 2, 3. If there's any clips here, hold it. You're gonna have clips like this, been tampered with this vehicle, so you're gonna have clips here, and make sure you take off those clips. They're just like squeeze clips and they come right off, or you can just fork them off. Anyways, 12mm, 12mm, 12mm. Okay, when I got in 12mm socket here, so I like to use my impact here. This little guy, and then we got one over here. And this tray, I got one more in that corner. I'm gonna have to kind of use a long extension, because all this is gonna be on the way. Okay, I got me a long extension. This is about like a foot long, so I can reach in there straight, right in that corner. I didn't even know there was the one there. There's supposed to be one on this side too, but it's missing. And there you go. Now this baby should just come right out, and we should have a clear access to that starter. Okay, so the starter has 2 bolts. Okay, I'm gonna just point those bolts out to you. It's gonna be kind of like complicated to get to it. One of them is like all the way down here in the bottom. It's a 14 millimeter and a 14 millimeter. So I'm gonna take my camera to show you guys that right there, okay? And a 14 millimeter here. But prior to that, you need to disconnect this connector here. And this is live power. It comes straight to the positive terminal over here. It's always sitting there, okay? It might be a 12 millimeter. Let me give it a shot. And so if you don't disconnect the battery and you do this, you're gonna short these two, and you're gonna have a spark and an arc, whatever you want to call it. And this guy should, once it's loose, it should kind of come off on you. Okay, this rubber boot is kind of giving me trouble here. There you go. We do have this dipstick in back of it that's gonna kind of bother us, and we're gonna take care of that in a moment. But let's get the whole starter loose first. Okay, and don't drop this 12 millimeter, and then just leave this thing hanging there. I like to use the old bolt. So again, let me just show you this on the starter. It's a bolt here and a bolt here, and the starter is gonna have to come out all the way. So this dipstick is gonna bother us. It shouldn't be a big trouble because we got a 10 millimeter all the way down there and a 10 millimeter right here. We're gonna remove them both, and we're gonna pop the dipstick open, and make sure you clean around it if you have a lot of dirt and debris, so nothing can go in there. So let's do that now. Okay, so I got me a 10 millimeter now in front of my 10 millimeter socket, and I'm gonna go all the way down there onto that dipstick. And you're gonna have to do this because the starter's never gonna come out if you don't take this off. Make sure you save this bolt. I'm gonna have to switch this so I can get right over here, and then we'll pull the dipstick out. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just disconnect this extension, and I'm gonna take it off, leave it sitting to the side here. I'm only gonna use the socket here. That's all I need right now. And this goes right there. Once you do this, I'm also gonna take this and put it to the side. So once you do this, your dipstick should kind of move very easy, okay? This box was held in by that dipstick. So there you go. This is what it's gonna look like. You gotta remove it. There's an O-ring that stood behind, so make sure that O-ring does stay there, or you will have a leak here. So we're gonna put this to the side with all of my trash here. So I'm gonna take this tissue, I'm gonna just put it on top of that hole right there, and just let that sit there so nothing, no dirt, nothing could get in there. So all I need to do is take off the 14 here and a 14 in the bottom. This starter should move back and out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in the bottom here. I'm using an almost half foot extension. It's like 6 to 6.5 inch extension with a 14 millimeter right in the front. I should have put my gloves on. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach back there. If you want to get a smaller extension, I would go with the smaller extension. This is kind of a little too long. And once it's on there, I got my ratchet the wrong way, counterclockwise again. And I don't even need to use my second hand. There you go. I try to get the harder one out first so it can come out, and then the easy one is right from the top. So once it's loose, I should be able to do the whole thing by hand. So this is like 45-minute job, probably less if you got your tools right. And if you go to a mechanic, you're gonna be ending up paying like $190 labor, which I think is a lot. So that's a 14 millimeter. Let's put that aside. Okay, now I took the extension, and this is what you did in the bottom. Just this one doesn't need extension because I have my free space here, and this baby comes right out, and the starter is going to start to move like that. So if you can support it, and the bolt should come off easy. If not, just keep it going. So if you guys got a Murano, it doesn't matter what year, this is where your location of your starter is. Even a Maxima, same position. Okay, so these bolts are the same. These 3 bolts are from the starter too, and the cable bolt nut right there. So this guy should come right out just like that. Okay, once you have the starter out, one thing I want to let you guys know is I would count the gears, okay? In my case, customer bought it. He told me to just put it in, so there's no going back. Let's remove this bolt. Is stuck here, so I'm gonna have to kind of put a tool on it to get it off, but I could get it off later. But very simple, reverse procedure. We take this baby, and it's only gonna fit one way, okay? There's no adjustments, no nothing, okay? So that's that. And we're gonna take, I like to put the easy one first now so it can hold my starter in position. And once it's in there, we can use our tools to put it back in, because I don't want to kill my fingers. I'm gonna just snug it because we still gotta catch the bottom bolt. So the starter is like 120 bucks. The labor, do it yourself, or find a good mechanic who will charge you another 120 bucks maximum, and that should be your labor cost. I think I put that bolt too tight, more than snuggling pretty much, because I need a little bit of free play to capture the bottom bolt. It's gonna be kind of loose, okay? Other than that, your threads might not match up. Now the bottom one should be much easier for me to get in there. You're not gonna be able to see, but it's down there. All right, that's that. I'm gonna have to get my extension back so we can lock up the bolts on this baby. And I'm gonna tighten this, just hand tight, okay? You don't have to go crazy. You don't need a torque wrench here. If you wanna torque it, you need torque specs then. I'm switching back with the extension because I need to reach the bottom. Let's see if I could do this with one hand. I had my friend help me here earlier, but maybe I could just do it by myself right now. And let's see how this goes. There you go, it's right on the money. I guess not. There you go, I got it on. Yep, no I don't. Hold this. Okay, I'm gonna have him hold it. You do need, he was holding my camera, now I'm gonna have him hold the tool so it can stay straight. There you go, let it go. And that's it. I'm gonna lock this bolt up nice and tight. Bada bing, bada boom. Starter's in and it's tight. Okay, now I'm gonna have to take this bolt off. Remember, I said I like to use the old ones, but let's see how I feel with this new one. It's a 13 millimeter. Okay, what we're gonna do is, there is a crush washer, so remove the crush washer, and that's something that we're not gonna use because this is part of it. That's why I want to just make sure you try it on. Okay, it should fit on good. The old one is always better, the old stuff. So this goes on next, and then this bolt goes on, this nut, and we're gonna lock that up. It's a 12 millimeter, I think so. I'm not sure if I put a 13 on this one. Nope, it's a 12. So the original is 12 millimeter. Just hand tight, don't go crazy because you'll strip this whole thing here. Okay, so this cover goes on, and do not forget this connector, because if you forget this connector, your starter, this is the control cable here. Okay, this is kind of crappy starter here. All right, so nothing I could do there, and but it's done deal. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this cover. This cover goes on next. Okay, make sure it aligns with all the bolts. Put all the bolts in. Catch them by hand first. All the threads. There you go. This is the last one over here. in this corner. Can't even see down there. Okay, once this is in, we're gonna get our socket and we're gonna lock up all the bolts. Okay, we kind of messed up. Okay, we gotta go back. We forgot the dipstick. Okay, that's always gonna happen. And we're gonna go get that. So we're gonna have to take off this cover one more time. Sometimes you will forget things like that. That's fine. Yeah. Make a mistake, you know, a lot of mechanics forget. I forget too. But some mechanics forget and then it's forgotten forever. So it should be very simple. Let's get this off. Our seal's still there. So this is the piece we forgot. Okay, so this thing goes in just like that. Make sure you get it in the port. And I had a feeling while I was working on this, like I am forgetting something. So that thing goes in there, and long as these two line, your bolts should align. The reason I even put the bolts from there to here, and I didn't realize where these bolts go. So this thing is just push down on it and this thing should align here, and one in the bottom all the way down there. All right, so I'm gonna have to kind of get this in. All right, the bolt is stuck. There you go. It's in. This one is not allowing me, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on the extension. Piece of paper here on top of the socket. I'm gonna stick the 10mm bolt on it, and the paper just can fall down there after that, and it will just come out of the place. Got it on my extension here. So you cannot jam it with your impact there. You do gotta catch the threads always, okay? Always gotta catch some threads. Can't go crazy on it either, so take a light. That's it. That's all you need to do. I'm gonna have to take off my extension here. Use my socket alone. Let's put this baby here. Let's put this on. I know it's a lot of movement, but it's gotta get done. And that's it. That's what we forgot. So I'm gonna re-put that on. Okay, so 12mm again. Let me start off from this corner here. This little guy. This little guy. It doesn't matter which order you choose. Just make sure nothing is getting pinched. Okay, let's just take this meanwhile, and this thing just gonna line there, and you just bang on it. Okay, this piece, very important. If you don't have this piece, use a cardboard. Put a cardboard down there. That it's like a protection. It doesn't ground itself, so the battery doesn't lose power. Even when you're putting the post that holds the battery in, if you got like liquid coming out of this battery, like right here, it's gonna jump. It's gonna ground itself. So that's why it got these little plastic pieces here to kind of prevent it. Anyways, I'm gonna take this battery and put it in. Okay, so people always say which first, positive or negative. Yeah, go ahead. You're gonna put the positive in first and make sure it's pushed down really well, and we're gonna lock this up. A couple of turns, don't snap the bolt, and that's it. We're gonna put the negative in. Nothing should happen when you put this in, okay? If your starter comes on and engages, that means it's been short-circuited internally. So we need a 13mm one more time, and we're done. Negative, positive. There's a plus sign here and a plus sign here. The black cable is over negative. There should be a negative sign down there. Okay, and make sure you do not put it the other way around. You will blow some of these fuses in here, and if you're lucky, that fuse only will blow. If you're not lucky, other things will blow. Anyways, bada bing, bada boom. This does not have a strap. If you have a strap, put that baby in. Thank you for watching my video. Okay, so that's done, and now we're gonna start up this vehicle. It should be a nice and smooth start. So get in the vehicle, foot on the brake, make sure it's in park, everything's back together, and she should start up really well. Anyway guys, thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. See you guys on the next video.